Hi, I'm Laura. Thanks for joining me. This is a tutorial on an arm balance variation of crow pose called side crow or Parsva Bakasana. So, side crow, some people find it a little bit easier than crow pose. I'll be able to show you a couple of variations. It's a twist and an arm balance combined, so make sure you warm up with some sun salutations and twists and you warm up your wrists before you begin. So with side crow, it's really important to set up the twist first. The more deeply you can twist to the side, the easier it will be to get into the arm balance. So begin with your feet together and kind of squatting down. First, we're going to set up the twist and I'm going to go to my left. So you want to pull the belly in and squeeze your torso up towards your thighs. You want to try and hook the arm around the left leg as far as possible so you're creating a shelf for the leg to rest on. We're going to place the hands on the mat shoulder width apart. So in this first variation, you can rest your back hip on your back arm. So you've effectively got two shelves. The knee is on the front arm and the hip is resting on the back arm. Grip the mat. There should be some air under the palm. It's almost like you're making kind of like a claw shape with your fingers. Make sure your legs hooked nicely up on your arm. And then we're just going to kind of tilt the weight over. So look at a point just in front of your hands. Keep leaning. You're going to have to lean quite a long way. And then just see if you can gently bring the feet up off the mat. And then just gently put the feet down and come back out of the twist. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a progression to that variation of side crow. So if that's something that you feel fairly comfortable with, this would be the next stage to move on to. So in this variation, and maybe it's better if I show you this way, we're actually going to fly the back hip so it's not going to be connected to the arm. So again, set up the twist, sucking the belly in, getting nice up close and personal with your thigh. But this time, we're going to try and keep that back arm free. The hands are still shoulder width apart and still gripping the mat. So really engage the core, looking down, pulling the tummy in, and flying the feet. So in that variation, you can really feel your obliques working more. So have a go with both of them. Let's say begin with resting your hip on your back arm, but as soon as possible, try and fly the back hip to really develop some extra core strength. Then from there, you can kind of play with lots of different variations of side crow once you're able to not rest your hip on your back arm. So some important things to remember about side crow pose. Setting up the twist first is probably the most important thing. If you can't get deeply enough into the twist, then you are going to kind of struggle, especially with that beginner variation where you rest your hip on your back arm. So really try and twist from the pelvis. Kind of imagine you're wringing your spine out like a cloth. Keep the spine long and kind of imagine and picture yourself twisting around the length of the spine. Make sure you're hooking the arm, so right up on the tricep, almost trying to get it into the thigh, into your armpit. Twist as deeply as you can, and then make sure your hands are lined up and shoulder width apart to the side of you. So another common mistake is that a lot of people don't lean forward far enough to get into side crow pose. So your face is going to end up quite a lot closer to the mat than maybe you think. So look at a point almost like you're making a triangle with your hands, with your gaze point being here. And look at the mat and kind of keep leaning forward until your feet feel light enough to just kind of float up. So the arms will end up being bent at a right angle or chaturanga position, and make sure you keep hugging the elbows in towards each other so they don't splay out to the side. Otherwise, you'll lose your foundation. Anyway, I really hope that helps. So please let me know if you have any questions or let me know if you give it a try. And I hope to see you soon.